All right, this is a review of the protein powder supplement from BioTrust called Low Carb. And the reason why I wanted to do this is I was so impressed, just so impressed with how they didn't blow it up with a bunch of processed ingredients, because you find that so often in other protein powders. And so I'm really excited about sharing this quick review with you and showing you the difference between this quality protein powder and the others. Obviously, with so many protein powders on the market, it can be confusing as to what's going to help you, whether it's building muscle or trying to increase your protein intake to help you lose weight and that kind of thing. You'll find with other protein powders these artificial sweeteners and flavors and colors and all kinds of high fructose corn syrup and processed carbohydrates and things like that. You actually will not find that in this low carb protein powder from BioTrust, and that's why I wanted to share it with you. Of course, we'll even talk about shortly how they sweeten it, which really impressed me, and then of course we'll compare it with other protein powders. So let's go ahead and jump in. And as you can see, all these other, they talk about how the other protein powders have a lot of processed ingredients and things like that. So they decided to create their own. And that's what got my attention. So let's go ahead and jump right into the ingredients. Now, one serving of this protein powder is just 150 calories, which is really impressive because if you look at other protein powders, I've seen them as high as 300 to 350 calories per serving, loaded with a bunch of sugars, which obviously defeats the purpose if you're trying to improve or increase your protein intake. And if you're bringing in all that sugar with it, it kind of defeats the purpose. Whereas this one from BioTrust is certainly different. Now the calories, like I said, is 150. Now let's take a look at the fat. The fat is only 3 grams. Again, with other protein powders, it's kind of a hit or miss. Sometimes you'll get like 5 or 6 grams, which isn't too bad, and then you'll get some that's high as 16 to 17 grams of fat that I've seen. And so consider that it's just 3 grams of fat is another impressive stat there. And of course, let's take a look at the carbohydrates. This is where most other protein powders fail. And typically what you'll find with carbohydrates with other protein powders is a bunch of high fructose corn syrup and just unnecessary calories that really, like I said earlier, defeats the purpose of increasing your protein intake. So let's take a look at the carbohydrates. A grand total of 8 grams. That is it. Now that is impressive, but on top of that, you also get just 4 grams, or you also get 4 grams of dietary fiber. You don't find that in other protein supplements. Okay, typically, if it's a low carb, it'll have maybe 1 gram of fiber, but with BioTrust low carb protein powder, you actually get 4 grams of fiber. Let me tell you why that's going to benefit you. When you increase your dietary fiber into your diet, you're going to feel fuller longer. And so not only do you get quality protein with this, but you also get quality fiber, and it's going to help you feel fuller for longer. So not only that, but it also gets 24 grams of protein per serving. Typically with other protein powders, that can vary as well. It can be 25 grams of protein or 24 grams, just like BioTrust, but it's also filled in with all these other fillers and fats and sugars and things like that. So with BioTrust low carb, 150 calories, just 3 grams of fat, and 8 grams of carbs, 4 of those carbs being dietary fiber, which is really, really impressive. And I don't know if I mentioned this, but as far as sugars go, 1 gram of sugar. That's right, just 1 gram of sugar, which is very impressive. Now let's talk about the kinds of proteins. I won't bore you with all the scientific names and that kind of thing, but looking at the ingredients, you're looking at casein and of course protein isolate and things like that. What that means is you're getting an ultimate blend of slow digesting protein, which means your muscles are going to get those raw materials delivered slowly throughout the day or through the night, depending on when you work out. And then, of course, you also have the kinds of proteins that get digested quickly and, of course, are transported to your muscles that need it immediately. So you get that perfect mix of slow digesting protein as well as fast digesting protein, which is really good. Now, let's compare it to these other protein powders. Now, as you can see, I'll just start at the top of the list here. I won't go through the entire thing, but the top two is what really stood out to me, and that is farmer certified growth hormone free. You do not find that with other protein powders, whereas with BioTrust low carb, it is certified growth hormone free. Not only that, but it's also 100% natural. That means no processed junk, whereas all these other protein powders obviously pack it in with unnecessary processed ingredients, whereas BioTrust is 100% natural. Another thing that took me by surprise was that it was soy protein free. There's actually a lot of protein powders out there that taunt, 25, 30 grams, but most of that is soy protein, whereas BioTrust, you actually get quality protein. So that's just a few things that really stands out from BioTrust low carb proteins compared to others. So hopefully that'll give you a better understanding of what exactly you get with the low carb protein powder from BioTrust. And of course, to learn more and get all the details, you can click on the link, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.